right. So, Coach, in high school and college, did you play any sports, and how were you at those sports?
Yeah, I played 3 sports in high school, football, basketball, and track and field. So, I'm a believer in the 3-sport athlete. I think that that's important. And then in college, I concentrated on basketball, and I played basketball at Colby College and scored 1,000 points and started for 3 years. And it was a great experience, both academically and athletically. And that's what I try to lend and tell these kids. That's what they got to aspire to.
All right, so now you moved on to coaching. How would you describe your coaching style?
I mean, I'd say I was demanding. I want the kids to play at the highest level that they're capable of playing. We go out and we work from the individual skills to the team concepts, and we just continually do it from there. And these guys have done a great job. They've adapted to what I'm asking for. We run many sets. They're not as used to that as they have been in the past. So I'm a guy who likes to run sets when the opportunity presents itself, and they're getting used to that also.
So how much, talking about coaching style, how much do you use some outside resources, or you look at other stuff to keep up with new trends, or how do you make sure that you're always getting better yourself as a coach, even as you're demanding that the players get better?
Well, yeah, I mean, every coach is basically a student themselves. So I'm either going to clinics in the off season, talking to other coaches, bringing other coaches in, and then just, with the video today, you can, on the internet, you can get what you want. I'll admit that I am the inventor of nothing, and I steal what I have, what's out there, and then I fit it to my style. I adapt. I chunk. Just like in any industry, you're going to look at the best, and then you're going to fit it to the means that you have, and you do that, and that's how I do it.
Well, you're talking about that. Do you have any coaches that you look up to or you take a lot of stuff from?
Well, I remind the kids all the time that living in New England gives you excellence in coaching, because you get to look at Coach Belichick. I'm a real just from afar. I don't know him, but I'm a mentor of his. And then, obviously, Brad Stevens, the way he runs the sets, he's unbelievable. I think he's the best coach in the NBA. So I tell the guys to watch them all the time, and not only in how they coach, but what they preach, what they talk on game day, how you approach the game. And then I'm just from a family of coaches, so my father coached for 50 years. My father-in-law coached for 53 years. He was in the same classroom. I really looked up to them. That was my father was Ernest Perry, and James Curtin was at Burlington High baseball. Just, again, more of their approach. They weren't basketball coaches. And then my youngest brother's the head coach at Bryant University, and I go down there and I talk to Tim O'Shea, who's the basketball coach, but I also look at my brother's style, and then my other brother's out at the Texans, and he's the receivers coach, and the demands and everything that they do. So I'm sort of in an embryo of coaching, so I have to look at everything that is told to me, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, we got Liam's in his cross-country gear. You're in some football gear, and we're talking about basketball. So I guess
Exactly.
that reinforces the three-sport athlete. So for kids that are out there, basketball is a team sport, but it's also all about individual skill. So, thinking about 7th and 8th graders out there, hey, what's the varsity coach say I ought to do? I ought to work on my individual skills, or I ought to be playing a lot of pickup ball to get better at the team game?
Well, that's a good segue in who I watch. And one of the guys that I used to watch, especially when my brother was at Princeton for a long time, was Pete Carrill. And he says the whole game comes down to ball handling. So you start, you got to be ball handling. You got to have the ball in your hand. You got to be able to dribble. You got to be able to pass. And that leads to the shooting. So what I suggest to all these kids is do a set of dribbling drills. And like you said earlier, you can go to the internet and you can get 10 dribbling drills from the best players in the country, and then emulate them as best you can. And then when you go to camps and clinics like us, and I'll be doing camps and clinics this summer, we will show you the individual styles. And then shooting, a minimum you should be doing 200, 300 shots a day, and I hope some of the guys that really want to be good, it's 400 to 500 shots a day. It's like anything else. You got to do it daily, and you got to work on your skills daily.
So what brought you to Triton? What was the appeal of coming to this school and this conference?
Really just when I walked in and I saw the gym and the setup, to have 2 gyms and to have 14 baskets and to have the ability to work with the younger kids to build your program, that's a huge plus. I've been very, very pleasantly surprised with the talent and the passion for the game. So it's been a great fit, and I've really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Liam, other questions?
I got one kind of from the team. They were asking me to ask you this today. If you had to pick on a team, who would you say the softest player is?
So they all give great effort. I'm not going to get into that specific, but what I've liked and what I tell when I go to my wife or back to Andover is just the receptiveness of each and every kid and the quality of student athlete. When I took their grades and their SATs and just the ability to look at each one and see that they have put a lot of effort into their schoolwork, a lot of effort into basketball. And then, like I said, so now I'm trying to bring it and say, make basketball a priority, make it sort of, go, you got to do your schoolwork and then you got to do your basketball. And if we do that, it's going to be a good merge. But they're all fairly tough. And then when they have to deal with me, they're tough.
So you said you played in college. Is there a player on the Triton team that reminds you of you?
I was a point guard. I mean, TJ reminds me of me when I was young. I didn't always look like this. I sort of had his body type as a sophomore, and I was quick. And then being a point guard, I gravitate towards those guys.
Right.
And he can shoot it for a point guard, and that's how I was too. I was able to shoot and control it. It was a good time. So TJ has done a nice job in that regard. But I can relate to most of these kids because they're academic guys, and that's what I really enjoy.
So I got another tough one. The girls are practicing behind us. I know you coached girls last year. So be honest, man. What's your preference, coaching girls or coaching boys?
I just hope this doesn't get broadcast in Andover, but I like coaching boys. I mean, that was part of the reason I had done that for 4 years, but I had done boys for 24 years, and to tell Liam, my girls in Andover were as tough as nails. So I'd say none of those girls were soft.
All right, well, I got one more. So you're talking about your brother a little bit earlier and how he works for the Houston Texans. You're always seen wearing Texans gear. You want to just give a little more background on that?
Yeah, like I said, my brother and my 2 brothers, there's 5 boys and 2 girls in the family, and at one point or another, 6 of us have coached, and my grandfather was a coach, my father was a coach, and so they just took avenues. Probably after seeing what you go through in high school and after seeing me, they went from the college level. So, he's been a head coach at Merrimack, but he's coached at Brown, Dartmouth. He's coached all over the country, Hofstra. And then he just got the opportunity to go out with the Texans, and he had coached with Bill O'Brien down at Brown. And when this opportunity came up, he took the opportunity. He really enjoys it.
And do you share, do all the brothers talk about their coaching styles and tips and help each other out?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little worse when they were very close because on Thanksgiving, they would all come to the Thanksgiving Day game.
Right.
And then cutting the turkey was basically cutting me up in what I did that day, mostly the errors that I did in play calling or anything else. But it's always a fun time to get together because you just rehash either similarities, and it's funny to watch, like, things that happen at the high school level, they happen at the college level, and they're just different penalties or different situations, but you have to deal with it, and then you make the comparison, well, at the pro level, they never do this, or this is what they do, and so it's just nice to see.
Well, thanks. Liam, any more questions?
I think I'm good. I got all mine out.
All
Just
right.
want to get everybody out. So we need the fans. Tuesdays are tough because we're playing a little earlier, but Friday nights, make sure that we fill this place. And I'm looking forward to coaching from all the kids who are first grade all the way up, and I'll get to know their names by the summer. So
Fantastic.
I'm excited about Triton.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Coach.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.